Again, Shehu, this is not in play. Nobody have ever discussed that.
You know why I'm asking?
People assume so many things. Nobody have ever discussed with me whether I'm going to be A or B or C. Shehu, I'm going to contest for the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And I believe I'm qualified.
This is the second time in a few days Peter Obi is saying he will not contest the 2027 presidential election as a vice presidential candidate, that he will be on the ballot himself. This is a direct message to the coalition members. For all the people hoping that he would deputize ATIKU or another northern candidate, this is a direct message to them. So what it means is that it might not necessarily be on the ticket of ADC. Yes, Peter Obi also clarified that all of them in the coalition adopted ADC as the party they will use to contest the presidential election, which means it's not actually very necessary for all the coalition members to decamp into ADC at this moment. They can remain in their parties. After all, there are many elections, governorship elections like the one in Anambra coming up in November, other by-elections. They can stay in their party and continue doing politics. When it's time for presidential election in 2027, they will now move into the platform, which is the ADC, to contest the presidency on the platform. For those who've known Peter Obi for a very long time, even before he became a politician, they know he can be very crafty, measured, and very calculated. The fact that he's in the coalition doesn't necessarily mean he will be bound by the coalition. Yes, so it might be right to permutate that Peter Obi is waiting for them to zone the presidential ticket to the south. If they don't do that, he might fall back to Labour Party. After all, INEC has quietly removed the name of Julius Abure as the chairman of Labour Party on their website. So all that remains is for the Nenadi Usman-led committee to organize a national convention for Labour Party. If they do that, Peter Obi and his allies will take over control of Labour Party. Not that it is better to run alone. Even Peter Obi himself knows that he stands to gain more by running under the coalition than running alone. Yes, he ran alone in 2023. We all know how that worked out. But imagine what Nigerians can achieve if they unite under one party to face APC. They won't stand a chance in 2027. So he knows that. But the power play that is going on in ADC right now might make that impossible. This is because Atiku Abubakar is campaigning hard, except he's playing games. Let's take a listen.
Kusan kashi 70 ya zamanto mata da matasa. Amma kuma kam duk wani wanda ya ce wallahi zai yi sata ko zai yi corruption za mu yi fada da shi. Wallahi.
A direct translation of what Atiku Abubakar said in Hausa, he's swearing to God that if ever he's elected as the president in 2027, that whoever steals or engages in any corruption-related activities, that he will declare war against them and they must be punished. That other countries are advancing, a lot of things he said. So this is a direct campaign. Like already said, unless Atiku Abubakar is playing mind games with people, he can't be seriously considering contesting. Yes, we know the role he's playing in this coalition, but he can't be seriously contemplating running in 2027. In November this year, Atiku Abubakar will be 79 years old. He wants to contest election in the year he will be 81 years old. No, this shouldn't be happening. We have many competent Nigerians who can contest for the presidency in 2027. No one should be indispensable, including Peter Obi. It's not a must for Atiku Abubakar to be president. Also, why is he seriously trying to do exactly the same thing he did in 2023, expecting a different result? Except he wants to hand over the presidency back to Tinubu in 2027 on a platter. And when power comes back to the north in 2031, after Tinubu might have spent 8 years in power, Atiku Abubakar wouldn't even stand a chance, because by then he would be 85 years old. So if Atiku Abubakar is not playing mind games like already said, he wants to deceive some people to feel that he's contesting, to draw attention to himself instead of the real candidate they want to support. If he's not doing that, then he's playing the role of a spoiler. In other words, he's trying to say, if I can't have it, if you can't support me for the presidency, then I will make sure you can't have it. I will make sure you fail. The only people that can stop the imminent implosion in the coalition is the CPC group, headed by El-Rufai. Yes, they have left the APC. They are not hiding that fact. Many of them have openly decamped to ADC. So if they mount serious pressure on ATIKU Abubakar, they were the ones that worked for Tinubu in 2023. They made sure he got that chunk of votes. In fact, he actually won the Northwest. So ATIKU Abubakar hoping that the entire North will fall behind him once he's on the ticket. That's not actually the reality. He's not even sure of winning the middle belt. That's if he's on the ballot and for one reason Peter Obi decides not to run, so as not to give people talking points. Remember, in 2023, a lot of PDP members blamed Peter Obi for ATIKU Abubakar's loss. Yes, they keep making that argument that it was because Peter Obi left PDP and went into Labour Party, that was why ATIKU Abubakar and PDP lost. They feel they are heaping the blame, that Nigerians will follow them and say, okay, yes, he's to blame, and what next? But in reality, they don't know that they are making a mockery of themselves. They are indirectly telling Nigerians that ATIKU Abubakar cannot win an election if Peter Obi is not in the same party he is running. Yes, that's the reality. It also shows that ATIKU Abubakar needs Peter Obi more than he needs him. So what's this talk all the time of Peter Obi deputizing ATIKU Abubakar when you have already told Nigerians that ATIKU can't win without Peter Obi? So what it means is that Peter Obi is more popular. What it means is that Peter Obi can win. He can actually win without ATIKU Abubakar. So why should he that can win without ATIKU Abubakar go and deputize ATIKU Abubakar? Make it make sense. Let's also not forget the reasons that ATIKU Abubakar gave in 2022 that forced him to run for presidency and eventually ended up clinching the ticket of the PDP. He said he wanted the ticket to be zoned to the southeast or even the south, but Wike refused. And based on that, he decided to run and eventually he beat Wike in 2022 presidential primaries of the PDP. Okay, let's even accept all the reasons that ATIKU Abubakar gave that forced him to run for the PDP ticket in 2022. Are the circumstances the same today in ADC? There's no character like Wike that is preventing the ADC or working seriously to make sure they don't zone the ticket to the south, not to talk of the southeast. There's no such character. What is preventing ATIKU Abubakar now from insisting, like he said he did before Wike forced his hand? Let him now insist that the ticket must be zoned to the south in order to counter Tinubu, who is from the south, who is hoping to campaign, not even hoping, he's already campaigning based on that the northerners think they own this country. They always fight a southern president, forgetting the fact that he was among the northerners who fought Goodluck Jonathan before 2015 presidential election. Yes, he employed all sorts of rhetoric, all sorts of dangerous politics to make sure that Goodluck Jonathan, a fellow southerner, was defeated. So like already said, the coalition members still have a lot of time in their hands to stop ATIKU Abubakar before talking about stopping Tinubu. If they choose to pretend and feel, there's nothing wrong, when we get to the presidential primaries, we'll handle everything, as if there is no fire on the mountain right now. ATIKU Abubakar is busy galvanizing his base. You hear lines like, the only person that can counter Tinubu now is a northerner. Can you imagine that? Coming from Dele Momodu.
Let me tell you, Tinubu can only be countered this time by a northerner. Any southerner telling you, I want to contest against Tinubu is going to waste his time.
So you can see they're already planning to hijack the coalition. They just wanted Peter Obi to come under the umbrella of the coalition. But they failed to understand one thing, that his base is not transferable. Even Peter Obi himself cannot market another candidate to his base. Their support is solely based on him. If he's not on the ticket, no one will come out to vote in 2027. The few that will even come out might vote for Tinubu. Yes, that's the reality. Thanks for watching.